There
Awesome.
has been quite a debate going on, very much so today, but last couple days.
Why?
Have you guys heard about this not Christian, this conservative women's calendar that's been circulating? And there's been
Only from you.
a
I
lot of
met one of the
debate.
titty ladies who's in it,
Titty
Really?
and
ladies.
Wait,
she
I
has
thought
got.
they were
I'm there.
conservative. Why are
What-
there titties in this calendar?
I don't think they're. She doesn't. I mean, they're not like out, but they kind of might as well be.
Because they're so big?
Yeah, and there's
And
not.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
jealous.
Ooh.
But are
Okay, here we
people
go.
are people upset about this now?
People
Because
are
they need things
upset.
to be
People are upset about this.
Stop.
Yes, they're
People
upset.
are upset.
Wait,
Okay.
which people are upset?
Worse
Christian
people.
conservatives are upset.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have heard some folks say that it is demonic, that the idea of having a calendar of conservative women is by nature like you're putting together these images and you're producing this calendar to create lustful thoughts and feelings of conservative men, which is I
Hopefully.
guess wrong in the eyes of the Bible. And but I think, don't men have control over what they lust over and over what they don't?
Apparently not.
You're not robots,
Allegedly.
right?
No. No.
You have some self-control.
No,
And
not
I guess,
really.
I guess you could also just like not look at it if you don't want to. So this is out of the Daily Caller. Beautiful conservative women pro USA beer company releases its version of a Sports Illustrated bikini calendar. So this is a beer company. It's called the Ultra Right Beer Company. It released its Conservative
so
Dads
cringy.
Real Women of America calendar for 2024. Oh, this was released just on Wednesday with the help of former college swimmer and conservative activist Riley Gaines. So she is the cover girl for this. She is the one on the front.
Oh
She
my
looks
god,
great.
that is a very sexy front photo. Oh my god.
It's
Yeah.
a great photo.
But she's like, she lives in a bathing suit. I don't know. She's a swimmer.
How is that any different than a picture you'd find on Instagram?
Or
It's-
seeing someone at the beach.
It's not.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not, but I think people are in such a tizzy because it is supposedly conservative.
What is
Yeah.
conservative though? I just I'm very confused now about what I don't know.
Well, the
look
internet
it
is
up.
about arguing definitions. So you are
Right.
right in asking what is conservative.
What is a woman? What is conservative?
No, but that's exactly the point. Like, we live in a time where,
You're
like,
gonna bring up.
there can't be agreement over what a woman is. Birth rates are at an all-time low. People probably have low testosterone. Like, shouldn't this be a good thing? Great. Get conservatives banging and doing all that. Great. I
Here we go.
support it.
Favoring traditional views and values, tending to oppose change, traditional or restrained in style, moderate, cautious of or relating to the political philosophy
Basically
of
anything.
conservatism, belonging to a conservative party, group, or movement, of designating or characteristic of a political party founded on or associated with principles of social and political conservatism, especially in the UK and Canada, of or adhering to conservative Judaism, tending to preservative.
The traditional.
Okay, so that means nobody that's on Twitter.
I suppose.
Every single person that's on
Yeah.
Twitter would not actually ascribe.
I think there is confusion between Christian conservatives and the political party of conservatism. And then that gets into the larger issue of I guess if you're not a Christian conservative, because I'm more libertarian, I'm thinking, well, why shouldn't we be more of a big tent? Like, but that's the thing is Christian conservatives feel like everyone needs to be like them and have the same like level of morality as they do. And I don't think that necessarily translates to politics, because you're never going to like shame or convince the majority of people to think like you and act like you. And it's almost like, yes, in a perfect world, I guess every conservative would be a Christian conservative. That's not reality. And so I think it's a bit like not that it's
Well-
delusional, but it's like you're not going to shame everybody into just being like you.
But it's also
So
like, what is it? What is a Christian?
That's true. There's different denominations in the religious world of different types out there. And I don't want to even go into that because I'm not an expert by any means. But
Okay.
Yeah,
we
let's
can
see
maybe say
titties.
the women are of natural body, maybe at this point. I don't know.
They're actual women, all natural. Well, not all natural, but
Oh, natural,
the vaginas are
homemade
all
genetics and all.
So the
Forrest
calendars
Mommy
are
is
100
right.
I mean,
She said
Forrest
the
Mommy-
problem is the government.
Yes. Oh, I agree 1,000%. The
Mhm.
calendars are 100% made in America and feature a whole host of beautiful conservative women, including Gaines, Ashley St. Clair, Dina Loesch, Josie, the Redheaded Libertarian, and more, according to the company website. The purpose of the calendar is to celebrate conservative women who are fighting woke extremists to preserve real women.
Preserve
So, like, they have
real
all their-
women in jars.
So, like genetically
Real
real
women.
women is what I'm getting. at?
Yes.
Or what I'm
Preserving.
getting
See,
from that.
yeah. I think they all look great. 10% of the
Yeah.
sales from the calendars are going towards the
Josie.
Riley Gaines Center, which seeks to protect women's sports from biological men. Gaines is best known for her powerful stance against Leah Thomas, who competed as a woman for their school swim team. Yeah, Riley Gaines was one of the first actual female athletes to come out and speak out against this. And this is Josie's photo, which I think,
Ooh.
again,
Oh
like, this
my
is not.
God! Those
She
heels
looks
are cute.
great. She
That
looks
is
great.
the
And
most sexy conservative. Like if you Googled sexy conservative, that's what I would think would come up.
She looks
This-
great.
She
Pies,
does look great.
Jesus, an apron.
I love this.
This should be
She's
every conservative man's
baking.
wet dream.
This is You look
She's
at
so
this,
hot.
you're like, I want to marry her.
Mhm.
But
Cute.
also,
Cute
this is
haircut.
not anything great. Like, this is not anything crazy. Like, yeah, she's showing leg, but she's not showing like her belly. There's no cleavage. She's holding a
booty
freaking
even.
pie. And I just
She looks fit and healthy.
Yes.
She looks nice.
she looks great.
Her home is clean. I love the teal KitchenAid / her like
too.
utensils at the side. Very
It's so
Tiffany
clean.
color.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
clean. That's nice.
Yeah. I know that's what I'm really like. That's what's getting me excited. It's just how tidy and clean that this house must be. I'm
You
just like,
sound like me,
wow.
Chrissy. Oh
I'm
my
like,
God,
ugh,
clean.
how
I
does
don't
she
have to
do
clean.
it? I mean, if you've seen the pictures that Josie puts out of her pies, like those are like porn to me. It's like pienography. It's
So
the
she's like a
crust.
she's a serious pie maker.
Serious.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my
That
God.
makes it even better.
Yeah.
Foodgasms. I'm ready.
They've won Blue Ribbon Awards.
Really?
They're top level. Her crusts are like really artistically done. I don't know how she does it.
Aw.
Generally speaking, the response to the calendar has been positive. Josie had a huge response to her Ms. November photo. Some folks were not fans, saying strip her heels while cooking a pie next to Jesus. Pick a lane. Another wrote, "This is
Wow.
tacky."
These
Those
are the
are
most
not
miserable
stripper
people in the
heels.
world. These are unloved, unmarried, very bored, very fat, very miserable people is who these
Not
people
all
are.
of them.
I will say this:
That's what I
stripper
think.
heels are at least 3 inches high on the toe portion, and they're usually strappy heels.
Or they're made
I've
of
noticed this
lucite.
just in my
Yeah,
life.
or they've got fish swimming in them. No, I know Bryson Gray, who's a friend, is has been one of the most critical people of this calendar, but specifically for the reason of like this calendar was made for conservative men to lust after, and if you're a true conservative, then you shouldn't be doing this sort of thing. You shouldn't be trying to act like the left in this kind of a way of putting out like a calendar of thirst traps is basically his argument.
But this is where I think we miss the point. Is like when there's all this infighting, we miss the point of the government's actually the issue. It's not really
Yeah.
between the left and the right. And then also what I see a lot of conservatives do, it feels like the left will create something and then the conservatives just shit on it. And then conservatives are like, well, let's make our own calendar. And then conservatives are like, no, we don't like this either. And we don't like this stuff on the left. We don't like their calendars and we don't like our calendars. And we don't create anything. We just talk
No
shit
one
on
likes
everything.
anything.
That's so true.
That's what it feels like, is that
Mhm.
we're not allowed to create stuff. And it's, I don't know. It's like, imagine if you're somebody that's on the left, okay? And what would make you want to come over to the right and be open to that if you're constantly just being told that everything you do is completely wrong? I don't know.
Right. And there are some similarities to like the conservative Christian, like right wing end of things. Like, well, I'm offended by this. I thought this was lustful and satanic, not satanic, demonic, and this is a calendar of sin. In the same way, like, okay, well, it wasn't made for you. If you don't like it, don't
Don't buy
like
it,
give
I
it your
guess.
attention. In the same way that the pronoun people on the left, like, they go out of their way to be insulted and offended by people not giving the time of day to pronouns and not just giving attention to the trans agenda. And then my worry too is a lot of times, and I wish Melanie was here for this. Maybe she's on her way, but in some senses, and again, like, this isn't personally against anybody who has these beliefs, but sometimes these conversations sound like they're about a sneeze away from, like the hardcore Muslim guy who's pushing
Yes.
gays off the roof. Like what?
Mhm.
We gotta deal in shades of gray here.
I don't know. I watched this near-death experience where this atheist talked about dying. And so he died in his near-death experience. And then he was in hell. Okay. He was in hell, saw all the shit burning. And then he remembered a time when he was in like grade school where he was singing Jesus Loves Me. So in that moment, he called out to Jesus. Okay. He's already dead. He calls out to Jesus. And here comes Jesus and takes him out of hell and brings him up to heaven. And then he comes back onto earth. And I just feel like sometimes we forget that being a Christian is not about all the good works that you do. It's really just all about accepting Jesus into your heart. It's very basic and simple, and it's not all so complicated. And like, Jesus didn't judge, the woman at the well. He talked to her, and it's like, when I just feel like sometimes the Christians get so judgmental of people, and it's like, it's Christmas time. How are we arguing over a calendar and saying that this is demonic when Redheaded Libertarian has done so much for the movement of trying to get people to see, stuff that's going on in the government, and then we're going to say she's a demon in that picture? Like, what?
I can agree with that because I've talked to Alan, and he was talking about how he tries not to judge people because
I
the
love
judgment should
Alan.
be unto the correct me if I'm wrong, like Jesus or God. I
Yeah.
don't know much about religion.
Mhm.
And he says it's not my part in this world to judge people.
Yeah.
So I leave it up to them. So you just have to stay in your lane, do your thing. If someone is doing something over there, you can't let that bother you too much. That's up to them
Yeah.
to do that. You can't tell them that they're doing the wrong thing. Are they going to really listen to you? Probably not, especially on the internet. And you just try to do your best to be good in this world. And I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Redheaded Libertarian. So
She's
you
great.
know.
Yeah, she's a mom. She's I think she's married. Like, she's very family oriented. She bakes a ton of pies. She's really
You're
smart.
like the pies.
She hosts the pies. She hosts a lot of great conversations on her Twitter Spaces, and I wonder if it's because I think back to the episode 100 that we had where we had the blow up with like Brandy Love and Alex Stein and Melanie. And I think with Melanie in particular, I think maybe part of being like that degree of Christian is you do really feel compelled to call out when someone is not following the Bible, or when someone is living in a life of sin. It's like they really do. I think part of being at that level is like you are compelled to call it out and try to get through to the person. But at a certain point, you got to pick your battles too. And not everything is a slippery slope. Like, you look at the women in this calendar, like Riley Gaines, Ashley Sinclair, Josie, Redhead Libertarian, Dana Loesch. It's not like I don't feel like these women need to be called out it's not like oh, if we don't call these women out, they're gonna start an OnlyFans tomorrow and they'll be lost to sin. It's like, no, like Josie's not going to she's not going to hell because she posed with a pie and a skirt and heels. And I don't think everything is a slippery slope. I think these are all grown women who it's not like they're lost in the world, and that they're going to get worse or show more unless we shame them. But I understand the feeling compelled to call out the sin, I guess. I think I just have a very realistic.
I think you have empathy for all people, and you're able to see all sides of it. It's like, I don't know, even when you said it's they're not going to start an OnlyFans, but it's and if they did, who cares? I don't know. I just feel this last year has just really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, and it's if they start an OnlyFans, so be it. So the same people who are yeah, and I just feel I don't know, we can spend our time judging people, or you can spend your time creating your own art and your own work, or you can make your whole thing about, I'm going to judge these type of people and all of this is bad. All of this is bad. Okay, if it's so bad, then why don't you create something good that people will want to see and watch? Duh, we know certain things are so bad, but it's how many times do we have to hear it? Can you produce something that's unique that can be presented to the world?
It's your friends. You can try to tell your friends so many things that they're doing wrong, but at the same time, will they listen? Like being a dead horse sometimes. You don't want to keep giving advice if they don't listen. And when I was hanging out with Melissa, Mrs. Nerdrotic, she's like, I'm trying this new thing where I'll only give advice if people ask.
Ooh.
That's the thing. People will say, you should do this. Well, did anyone ask you?
Let's be honest, though. All these guys who are complaining about Josie would give their left nut for her to just look in their direction. Just one boob, maybe.
I don't know. I don't think that's not true of Bryson. He's happily married, and he goes out of his way. I guess that's the Christian principle. Is you're not going out of your way to be in a position where you're around other women that are lusty or something like that. But here's the thing is there's guys jerking off to fully dressed women on the internet every day. Remember when people jerked off to the Sears catalog, to the Victoria's Secret catalog?
I was too young for that.
it's like the COVID Karens. If you're so afraid that disease is everywhere, stay the hell home. You stay home. That's your responsibility, not the rest of the world to cover our faces at all times. That's kind of what it reminds me of, that they're afraid they're going to see lust everywhere.
Did you ever, do you guys, there's this podcast I've been listening to. It's the Secret podcast. And this man talked about how he was married for 25 years, but secretly he meets up with men to sleep with them, but he's straight, he claims, but he's met up with 5 or 6 men a day while he works from home. A day. Okay. And he says that these men are conservative. Some of them are pastors in the church. They're in business suits. They're people you would never even suspect. They're people who are highly homophobic. And they're all of them are all married. And he's been doing this for 25 years. And he talked about it on the podcast.
Oh my God.
That's my day job.
Who has butthole strength for that?
I don't know. But maybe it's just sometimes I feel I don't know. I'm just trying to get to this place in my life where I'm I don't want to judge other people. I'm not a perfect person. And we're all just doing our best. We don't, what is this? We're on a prison planet. Okay. We're all just doing our best. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I think the calendar is great, but also I'm hey, I like Bryson too. I met him in person and he was super nice to me, and his wife is very cute and she was nice
They're
too.
lovely. Yeah.
And also I'm how much of this is just online conversation starter to get the algorithm going, to get the likes and the clicks. And it's people are making money on Twitter. And I'm this is kind of good. It's helping us. I'm let's talk about it. So I'm I don't know. Maybe this is my conspiracy amongst the conspiracies, that this is all just a thing to get people to talk and click. And
this is we're talking about it right now. So it worked.